Pop. That's a 10-inch. What's going on, brother?
So
that intro is pretty hard, ain't it? I like that intro.
It's got that slow build up to that, cool beat. I don't know.
Well, I like how the rocket ship falls apart and it turns into the little button on the YouTube on the YouTube button.
That's a little motion array there.
Are you ever gonna get a YouTube button?
A YouTube button?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a YouTube button.
You mean a silver play button?
I'm gonna get a play button.
I would love to get a silver play button one day, but that's a lot of subscribers you got to get to.
What do you mean? That's not a lot of subscribers. You just got to get to it.
It's 100,000 to get to
100,000 subscribers, man. That sounds like a lot. It really does. And if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it takes you a year to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then you just kind of stop, right? I mean, so then it just kind of stops for a minute, and then you have to find a way to build from there. I think it's possible. I mean, I think it's possible.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that have accomplished it, and then of course you got the big one. You got the golden play button, which is 1 million. But like I said, I've always set a goal. I'd love to at least get a silver play button one day, but we'll see. We always say, yeah, I'm still kind of just enjoying it and doing things, and we'll see what happens when it happens. But
I'm enjoying it, but I'm gonna enjoy my silver play button when I get it too. I'm gonna put it right behind me. I know a lot of people don't put their buttons out so you
There's
can.
a lot of people that put them right.
I'm gonna put it where you can see it. I'm gonna put it. I might even put it beside my face. I might get a stand for it, so I can stand it right beside my face, so everybody could just see that there's a silver play button sitting there.
Yeah, there's always I've seen a lot of people do videos of when they get their play buttons, and and then you see a lot of people that they always put them in their sets, because as much as they may not say it, they are proud of them play buttons.
Yeah, I mean, because they're kind of, look, if you're in a niche that's not that big like Funko, and you manage to get a silver play button like Clint or Tristan, I'm sure that you're super proud of this play button, because this is not that big of a community. I mean, let's be honest. You ventured over into a much bigger community, and you're getting a slower start because it is such a bigger community, but you also have more potential for growth than you have in this community.
Yeah, every niche has its challenges for that.
Right, so it was a trade-off, right? I mean, so it's going to be a little bit harder cracking into, but you have the potential of growing a lot bigger than necessarily in this one, right? So yeah. You'll get the million one for sure. For sure, you'll get the million one. I see that we got a lot of really cool people that are hanging out with us already. We kind of got on here late. We have some news and some things that I want to go over. There's actually a lot. Like since last week, and we decided together that we would make this not just about pops, but we would do this more about pop culture. There's so much news that we could dive into that I don't even know if we're going to get to it all today.
And we do have, in fact, you and I actually got to get together this weekend, because we do have a very special guest coming and joining us next week.
We have a really awesome guest coming in next week.
So we're excited to see that. This is a guest that there's not a single one of you that could ever guess who this person is, and we're not going to tell you until next week.
You know what? There's not a single person that doesn't know who this is.
It's a good point too. It's a very good point. All y'all are going to know who this is, but very many of you, if you've watched this show for any period of time, are going to be very surprised we have this guest.
I think that there's gonna be a lot of surprise going on that we have this guest because I don't think that we're probably on the top of the list when it comes to the brand Funko.
Mm.
I don't think that we're necessarily on the top of the list when it comes to that. So the fact that this person's even going to sit down and chat with us is pretty wild. Um, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Before we like get to going too far into any of that, did you see the post that I made on Instagram yesterday? So I made a post later in the evening yesterday, and you knew that I was working on this. A lot of people didn't know that I was working on this. As a matter of fact, Chris and the artist were the only people, with the exception
Yeah,
of my wife.
I've known pretty early on, and I mean, you and I bounce ideas off each other, not only just for the show. We bounce ideas off each other quite often throughout the week.
Thumbnails, shows,
Yeah,
video
I don't think any
ideas.
of you guys realize how much we chat throughout the week.
Yeah,
But
video ideas. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. How your kids are doing, what y'all are doing at activities, your birthdays, your anniversaries. So we've actually made a really good friendship over the years. I was talking to you about this. This is something that I have been passionate about probably since the beginning of my channel.
mhm.
Just how to get there has been a challenge, right? How do I get from where I'm at now to designing my own t-shirts? How do I get from where I'm at now to designing my own collectibles? And I started off with this really amazing artist, Ivan. He's on my Instagram. He's on all of my posts. Go check him out. If you want to sit down with Ivan and have him design your own personal figure, dude is super awesome to work with. So go check him out if that's something that you want to get into. But I've had Project Blue going on now in the background for at least 3 months. I have dedicated to working on this. This is the first of any runs that I'm doing. There was only 4 of these altogether that I was going to let go. They all sold out, so I thought that if somebody wants the last one, I will let this one go because I have some prototypes that I'm not going to let go, and I recently sent you one. I hope that you like get that one open soon so that you can check that out. So I sent you one of them. I super cool. I know that there's a couple of y'all like in the chat that picked these up. I truly appreciate all the love and support. I've got some more that are going to be coming out. I have one more run that I'm actually going to send over to the Lou. So you'll have to wait for Andrew to get it opened. It's going to be bigger than this one. If that one goes well, the next thing y'all are going to see from me, check this out. Don't tell anyone. I'm going to do voodoo dolls in Halloween. So the month of October, the next thing you will see
That'd
from
be cool.
will be custom voodoo dolls. If my next run goes well, all of this has been in the works to buy the equipment because the equipment is not cheap. You have to either have resin printers or 3D printers, and then you got to have cures and stations, and it's just for days. Wash baths, all kinds of crazy stuff has to go on molding for days, right? So all of this has really been a way to crowd fund the larger idea of making figures a full-time gig for me, and then eventually I'll move into my own t-shirts because I don't know if y'all know this, I love my t-shirts a whole lot. I'm really particular about like what t-shirt I wear. I appreciate all love and support.
But we are also not shy from what other we have. There's other YouTubers within the community, and again, I won't name any names. I'm sure you guys will all know that are very hypocritical in the fact that they want to basically use their base to help support their projects, but want to claim that they don't. Y'all are bullshit. And guess what? That's what we do fucking YouTube for. Sorry for dropping
Well,
that F bomb, but
well.
that's just the way it is.
If anybody gets upset with me for trying to better myself, that's whatever. I don't care, and y'all don't worry about them if they do. Y'all take it and keep rolling with it. This is going to be an interesting chat today, though, because I want to talk about something that happened on April. Every year Funko does a whole April Fools. Hey, let's hit that chat shout out real quick, though. Let's hit the chat real quick.
Who we got in here today? We got early on in the chat, of course, very early. We had Chase from Chase's Kingdom. Welcome to the show. Of course, definitely I'll give him a shout out because I love to. If you didn't check him out on Saturdays, but I did. I got busy on Saturday, so I only poked in for a little bit. But definitely check out Chase on Saturday mornings. He's one of the pretty much the only shows going on Saturday. So if you want your Funko fix on Saturdays, hit him up. He gets some of the newest stuff out there. So go ahead and hang out with him for a little bit. We have Miss Christina Payne in the house. Of course, hashtag spread the love.
Always
One of the best mods in the business.
the
We
only
had
one.
in here early too. We had OTT with G, another great friend of the channels. In fact, I've actually got a pop here that is still for OTT. He just hasn't come back to Florida yet recently for me to give it to him. But he did. I hooked him up with one at Disney. So we also got Zach Bonifer in the house. What's going on? I appreciate your time. We've got Mr. Diz Tracker himself. Johnny Funko is in the house. In fact, if you guys didn't recently catch Johnny Funko, he had a person that we should probably get her back on the show at some point, but we were on a live with her at one time before, which was for some reason her name just kind of skipped my brain. But Jazzy H1K.
Yeah, she changed her name to like Jazzy H1K or something that sounds very Terminator like.
She's got fantastic shorts. I will give her that.
She has great shorts. She has awesome fan base.
Yeah.
She, but a lot of people don't know this about Jazzy. She had like over 10,000 followers on Instagram before she ever came to YouTube. Before she ever made that push into YouTube. I was following Jazzy before she ever had a YouTube channel. I remember the very first like video she put out there. She's going to be a strong member in the community for a long time.
Her shorts are hilarious. If you aren't following her already, definitely make sure you do. We also have one of our other favorite Canadians in the house, Simon Crook in the house. What's going on, buddy?
Guys? What is up?
Always enjoy you stopping on by. And have I missed anyone else? I know you guys are chatting away in there, but I think that's about where we're at so far.
So, did you keep up with anything Funko did on April Fools? And I'm just kind of wondering, like, how many people like kept up with the whole April Fools? Funko had the digital drop on April Fools. And let me pull this up real quick because this drop has me kind of confused. This drop, when they originally did it, they did it at this, it was on a random Sunday. It was a crazy day. They normally don't drop them like this, but it was the day before April Fools. They dropped it and they just kind of said, here you go. It's going to be up for sale. No one got it.
I forgot to take that off. My bad. Yeah, well, they've done these types of things in the past. Their April Fool's stuff is, they've gotten us before. I think we've talked about it on the show. They do well with the April Fool's stuff. I'll give them that.
Right. So they basically did this whole like they were dropping it, but then it didn't drop, or it did drop and it sold out. I need somebody to help me over in the comments because I got lost in what happened. So what I believe happened was that it didn't drop that day. So they said it was going to drop on this day. This day came and gone, and then it didn't drop. They basically said April Fools, it's not dropping today. And then they did drop it. So this is where I get confused because I read the message and I'm kind of trying to find the message right now in Dish Tracker. They threw the message and said, ha ha ha, April Fools. Some stupid dad joke they threw in there. And then it just kind of went away. And then they dropped it again the following day. That's exactly what happened. So it it looks like that they went to drop it on the 29th, and then on the 29th they said that it's going to drop. Haha, April Fools. There's no drop. But then it dropped the following day, which was the 30th or the 31st is when it dropped the following day. Looks like that's what's happened, but I need somebody to help me out over in the comments because they did something kind of stupid and it pissed a lot of people off, but then they did wind up dropping them. Have you seen those at all? Because I've seen zero videos about that whatsoever. Christina, I truly appreciate you.
I haven't seen anything on the NFT stuff. I'm very, like I said, I don't really follow it very much. Usually if there is any NFT type of news, I typically don't really follow it very much, but Yeah, this one I wasn't quite sure on.
So this is what happened. So that I couldn't find the post on Diss Tracker, and if you want to find it, go back and find it because he did a post on this, and this is exactly what happened. So Whatchamapops announced that it's going to be dropping, but then it didn't drop. So they let you go through the whole day. They let you sit in line. They let you to wait through the queue, and then they said, "Haha, April Fool's," some really stupid dad joke, and then they sold them the next day. So I think that a lot of people missed out on buying these because they dropped them the next day, and a lot of people didn't expect them to drop because of the way that they did it, right? So it was a joke that to me was in bad taste. I understand the joke. I mean, but I felt like it was in bad taste, but there was also a bunch of other fake stuff that was going around at the same time. Andrew.
Yeah, I did see, and you know what? I am actually I fell for it because I actually sent it to you when I saw it, but the whole fun days, cancel fun days type thing. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Oh, but I do actually pause for 1 second. First of all, I got to give Andrew a shout out. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. And let me give you that superhero landing real fast. Oh, I do want to tell you too something Wayne and I recently talked about. Um, this may be the final day for the vault
Oh, yeah, it
because
might be.
we are talking about a different way of doing the giveaway, and I think it gives a better opportunity. So this may be the last opportunity for the vault.
Right now in the vault, though, we have John Wick is in the vault. We have Prince John, who's also in the vault. We have Ash that is also in the vault. We got the Chilling Reign Swords and Shields Pokemon pack also in the vault. And then we got the Mystery Mini Star Wars like 2019. If you've been collecting, you know that this is a pretty old box. I randomly found like 5 of them sitting around the studio, still all sealed. That's what's in the vault today. So, Andrew, give us 2 numbers, 1 through 50. And then coming up here soon, we're going to change the way this is done, not necessarily to make it harder. We're going to change it to make it a little bit more fun
Yeah,
in a lot easier, basically. A little bit more fun, a lot easier. So give us 2 numbers real quick. Truly appreciate you. We need to talk
yeah,
later,
yeah.
my
Like I
friend.
said, this will probably be the last one. But I think we came up with an idea this weekend to make the giveaways much more interesting. Not to say the vault isn't
All right.
interesting. I just think this will give much
Yeah,
better
so
opportunities.
I think that
Two
the
and
way that we're
48.
gonna do it's gonna make it a lot easier. Andrew, I truly appreciate you. Though those 2 numbers are not it, and that's kind of the problem with it. Is that 2 numbers is kind of difficult to grab. So we're gonna do this a little easier coming up here in the near future. There was some other Funko stuff that went around that I think was more. I would like to know who was making these posts because they have grammar a lot like I do. Their grammar wasn't that great, and the funny part is on one of them, I actually was the one who caught like the grammar before I had to like see anybody else catch it that the grammar was off there at the bottom. And let me tell you what made me look at the grammar being off though was when you looked at the post and said it doesn't say Funko anywhere on it. That
Yeah,
then made me very skeptical of all posts that I seen after that. And when you see that the grammar is like clearly off, I'm sure that they have somebody that does nothing but grammar check their stuff. So I was like,
before it
eh.
goes out, for sure.
Yeah, I
Now
was like, eh.
there was one of the news that came out that I wasn't I don't know if you saw this. I wasn't sure 100% if this was true or not. In fact, I'm going to put this up here real quick because I mean, this is up to you guys. And it was done on the first. This would be cool. We've talked about this as being kind of one of those hidden those major I'm just going to throw it up. So they talked about Mondo and Nintendo. Well, Mondo has gotten the Nintendo license and will start
I
producing
think this is
posters
100%
for them.
true. I think this is a
Funko is in the
100% true
works to
opinion.
get the license for
Yes.
collectible figures.
Right, well, Mondo's not getting the license for the collectible figures. Mondo is getting the license for the movie posters that they're
Mhm.
about to do.
Yeah.
So Nintendo's about to come out with the movie. Mondo's going to get the posters for the movie. This is funny because this is gonna, like, take me right into the next, like, part of the news. So Mondo's gonna get that, and then they're working on getting the actual figures. I'm going to say this out loud, the part that a lot of people won't say out loud. I don't believe Funko will get the figures, and it's because Nintendo really, like, holds their license
That
agreements
license is
very.
not given out very
Yeah,
often.
they hold them very tight, and I think that Nintendo holds them very tight for a few different reasons, and I'd love to hear what y'all got to say. I think they hold them, 1, so that no one knows if it's really as popular as you believe it is. So, if I believe something is super popular and it stays that way, then my belief stays that it's super
Yeah.
popular. If I put myself out there though, and then they don't sell, and then they don't sell, then suddenly not only do you know that it's not super popular, but the world
Yeah.
knows that it's not super popular. So I believe that Nintendo holds their licenses so tightly because as long as the impression stays that it's really popular, they'll always be really popular. But the minute they put themselves out there to be judged by the masses, they're afraid that the image won't be that great. I don't care. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I would buy every one of them. I want all of the guns,
Dude,
all of the cannons. I
if
want
if
all.
if this actually comes through, I will be hard on to get the very first Mario pop because you know how that's an instant grail.
Instant
Instant,
grill. Instant
instant
grill.
grail.
It's instant grill.
Completely.
Every color suit. I need him in the raccoon. I need him in the
Mhm.
I need him in every suit. I need him as every one of them. I need every one of them. But I'm going to say the out loud part is, and the out loud part is they're not going to get it. They're simply not going to get it. Mondo will get the poster, and this was going to bring me right in to, like, the next part of our conversation is the whole, like, we said this last week that there was a lot of people that were being very judgmental, I
Hit me up
guess is
on
the way that
Instagram,
I'm going
Tom.
to put it. A lot of people were being very judgmental on Funko, and it's always easy to look on the outside and say what, like, people should do versus, like, what they're doing. To me that's always a very easy thing to do, right? It's always very easy to look, even in the rest of the world. Let's just not say companies in general, right? Let's just say my neighbor. It's always easy for me to look at my neighbor and say, hey man, he should have bought a Corvette,
Yeah,
not that Ferrari. Right? It's always easy for you to look from the outside in and make very judgmental, negative thoughts. And one of those was Mondo was going to be going away, that there was going to be no more Mondo, that they so Funko then goes and they put out this letter. The letter also didn't gain a whole lot of, like, sympathy for what's going on in Funko. Um, I get it.
I do
I
like the
really,
crown on
I
on
really
the
do.
logo, by the way.
It is a sick logo.
It's
I
a nice.
get it.
The crown's a nice touch. It's basically, pushing that they own them and stuff like that. But I think it's a nice touch.
The letter didn't make anyone feel any better. Funko basically told them they had to lay off 10% company wide, but they were doing this and they were bringing Monto into a much bigger facility. They were going after much bigger licenses. They were trying to make much bigger runs for Mondo because I guess Mondo, the runs are not that big.
No,
I've never gotten into the movie stuff and the poster stuff, so I don't know what is a big run of posters, but they're wanting to do more of them. There was a lot of, like, pushback and some of the verbiage and some of the words and some of the things that Funko said in that conversation. But I understand that Mondo was a very family orientated company. I really do. And I understand that sometimes when family members have to separate, it becomes very difficult for the rest of the world to understand why the family had to separate. But sometimes that's out of the better good of
agreed.
things. And I think that sometimes we need to lend somebody an opinion before we make one. we need to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're moving in the right direction, or at least they're trying to move in the right direction before we make an opinion that they're moving in the wrong one. Now, I don't know, but I do know that they put out the letter. So I wanted to bring that up because we had made that a conversation last week. I wanted to bring that up this week. They are coming out with something though. Check this out. This is going to be something for you. This is definitely something for you. I've got this one. This one's for you. So they are coming out with something. You're going to be over the moon. I know everybody here is gonna grab this one. This is honestly something that I think me, you, and a group of the people here should get together and do this live. So they are going to be coming out with a new Star Wars game. This game is going to be a strategy game. It's going to be up to 7 players. The interesting part is they say the gameplay is 20 minutes, which means this is going to be a rather fast game, especially if you think 7 players can play it in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast. So I don't know what kind of strategy game. Have you gotten into? Has anyone gotten into any of the games Funko has made?
No, and that's why I'm not really like. I mean, I get it. They're still using the licensing, things for this, and Star Wars, of course, is a good brand to do this on. But I mean, I don't know a single person that's ever done any of their games. I know a few people that have bought them just and never opened them, more as a novelty type of factor. But no,
Is this one of them you would play?
no.
Really? Why? So I think that I'm going to have to buy this one. It's going to retail at $29.99. They're going to do the same thing they did with all of their other games. You're going to be able to buy these little expansion packs. I'm going to tell you that I believe this one's going to be like a Dungeons and Dragons style game, or it's going to be like a what is that game where you have the army men that you move around? What is that game called?
Warhammer.
Is it Warhammer? No, it's not
Yeah.
Warhammer. What's the one where it's an old game and you have red and blue and green and purple men, and each player has different color men and they move them around the
Oh,
board?
Risk.
Risk. I believe this game's going to be a lot like Risk,
But Risk
and
takes a long time to play.
yeah, it's going to be some kind of a different version of it. I am excited to see what this one is, because this is the first one that's really caught my attention. This is the first one I believe doesn't look like a cartoon. So it is caught my attention on that scale, and I'm excited to see what this one's going to do. I really am excited to see this one, because I really believe that this is going to be a Risk style game. And if it is, I get into those. I get into chess. I get into all of that stuff. So I am excited for this one. And the other reason I say that, chess is making a big comeback right now.
Yeah, but chess never really went away, to be honest with you. It's always been there. Chess seems to go in waves of people, depending on when you learned it. I learned how to play it actually in school, junior high. They taught us how to play it in junior high. And, we were all into it. We watched the Bobby Fischer story. And I thought it was great. I thought it was a great idea. And like I said, as the older I got, I just never got around to playing it. But I mean, to me, it's one of the most mind thinking games ever.
So let me tell you something that's kind of funny that you're not going to believe, that most people like. So I was actually part of the chess club for a year in high school. And you don't know how many times I've sat down in front of a chessboard somewhere, and somebody would say, "Oh, you know how to play chess? Let's play." And I'd say, "Yeah, I've played once or twice," and then I would just completely demolish them, and they'd be like, "Well, hold on."
Kind of like a 4-move done type.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Well, hold on. What happened?" And then I'd have to explain. I've actually was part of the chess club, and I guess all of the tattoos don't say I was a part of the chess club. I don't think that was written in the script somewhere, but it's making a big comeback, and I believe that this game is going to be a lot like one of those games. I hope so.
I hope so.
For their sake, I hope so. This is the first game that I've been excited about in a really long time. Have you seen the most recent comic cover that's coming out? Have you seen this one? You haven't seen this, have you? I can see on your face that you have
no, I
not
have
seen
seen
this.
it. I did see it on Disc Tracker.
You've seen this on Disc
Yes,
Tracker?
and I really want it. Of course, this goes into something actually that Chase actually sent me the other day. And I do not have this set, Chase, and I still need to get it. And that is a very good price that Amazon is selling the 5-pack of Captain America for $22.57. and I'm gonna hope they're gonna hold that. But I gotta get the new Walt just recently dropped, and I need to get that first.
So I'm gonna get this pulled up real quick. There we are.
But yes, the new
Sorry.
comic cover. You know me. I have
I
to have it.
seen this one today, and I thought, man, I bet Chris hasn't seen this.
Yeah, I saw it on Disc Tracker. So thank you, Johnny. Appreciate the info.
So that's right, Johnny Funko. We truly appreciate you, brother. Truly appreciate you. So check this out. I need some help on this one.
What's going on, Los?
What is going on, brother? I was looking at his name, thinking, how do I say this one? So
Which
it
one
had
on Lou?
Say that again.
Which name were you looking at?
Say that again.
Dominican Lou.
Dominican Lou.
This is actually a guy I used to work with a long time ago. I mean, this is I did 2 stints with this company, but I worked with him a long time ago. One of the just coolest guys I think I've worked with, and I probably stayed over there just to kind of hang out with him. So Lewis is a really cool guy. So I'm surprised to see him on here. So thank you.
So check this out. I need some help. So I'm looking at this today, and I'm like, what comic cover is this? I'm like, which one is this? Because they give you no numbers on the comic. So it doesn't tell me that it's Avengers number 44, Avengers number 53. And I guess I've never noticed before that they don't tell you which comic cover this is. I thought that they did. They do.
No, it's number 4 there, I believe.
No. I don't, not the number of the actual Funko, but what comic it says. It says March 4th is what that says.
Is that what that says?
Yes, so that's March 4th. So I still don't know what number this comic is. How would you know?
I don't know. I definitely know that because I got to pull it up a little larger.
Makes it easier for sure, Lou.
Comic Code Authority. I would, to be honest with you, this one I'm not 100% because of course there's been lots of Avengers.
I need some help, Chase.
This would be a JB question to be 1,000% on.
I don't know. Chase is pretty into his comics too.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of Avengers, and I've tried to collect a lot of Avengers comics. But I can definitely tell, of course, that the fact that this is 12 cents. And
it's definitely a golden era, silver
this is definitely golden age. So I'm gonna say maybe into the 50s, maybe even 60s type era on there. But this one, I did see the comic, and I'm like, man, there's been so many great Captain America covers. I was trying to figure out what is the significance of this.
Somebody's got to help me out. Which one is this one?
I'm not.
Which one is it?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm going to have to research it.
Well, I couldn't find it. So when you go to looking for Captain America Avenger comics, you're going to pull up a god-awful lot of these guys. So I was trying to thumb through, and then I had 1,000 things going on, so I didn't really get to find it. But I'm always curious when they do these. Why did they do it? Like, was it a first appearance Captain America?
Was it? I'm sad that I actually don't know this one, but this was actually for the first. This is Avengers number 4 from March 1964. The first comic in which Captain America appeared after the start of the Marvel Age with Fantastic Four, November 1961.
Well, there we go. There's the key to it.
The amazing thing about Avengers 4 is how well Stan Lee and Jack Kirby reintroduced Captain America while establishing his character going forward, especially with the new Man of Time status. So this is after he actually had like a death early on, and they kind of brought him back. So yeah, that's a pretty significant reasoning for it. And there's a whole, if you guys want to read it, I'll throw it out there. There's a website called The Virtues of Captain America, and it actually has it right on there. It's actually pretty cool.
So I knew there had to be a key to it. Anytime Funko makes a comic cover figure, there's a reason why it's that one, right? There's a key to it. There's like you have the first appearance of White Vision, right? I mean, you have is there's a reason why they did that one because it has to have a key that makes it really popular. So that's really awesome. This is, and I was going to ask you this too. This is the OG Captain, right? With the wings coming off of the back of his helmet, right?
Yeah, this is going to be more the original Captain America outfit, because of course you got the wings on the side, you've got the white and red stripes going down the bottom, and of course the solid because the A has even changed throughout the year. So this is probably going to be the oldest style Captain America you're going to come. I mean, this is 1964 is when this came out, so this is definitely going to be up there in time frame.
So this is going to be like the OG Captain that you sent me. Those are the ones that I like. I like the OG Captain and I like the OG Flash. I like the ones that had the wings coming off the back of their helmets and the wings coming off of their gloves, and I like the OG.
Well, you can even tell from this picture too, and it's hard to tell maybe if you get closer. But the old school, if you notice on the comic, he almost had what looked like to be scales almost on the blue around the star, and they actually captured that in the pop itself, which is actually really really cool.
I look,
It's
I
not
am
that wasn't the first appearance of him, Chase. His first appearance was actually in the what was it because him and Iron Man both did the same series, and then that's when that series got to issue 100, actually became the Captain America series, which is the I can't remember his first comic. It's just out of my head right now, but
I
first.
don't think I can help you out with that. You said get out of my head right now. So this one's really awesome. I thought of you when I seen this one. This is 100% one of them that I thought of you when I seen that one because I thought if anybody was going to be going after that one, it was definitely going to be you. That was going to be the one that you were going to be going after. Earth Day is coming up this month. I want to say that it is the 24th or the 25th of this month. I can't think of the day like right on, but it's coming up super quick. Funko is doing their same like thing they did last year. They're going to be coming out with the Earth Day pops. I know that I kind of showed this one that leaked. It was going to be I'm trying to remember what he was now. It was one of the figures that they had done historically. And then there's this one, which is going to be a Walmart exclusive. Most of your Earth Day stuff to date has been like a Walmart exclusive, with the exception of Box Lunch had an exclusive last year. So I think Box Lunch will also have an exclusive this year. Have you seen this one already?
I have not, but I just because it just finally got in my head. The original comic for Captain America and Iron Man was the Tales of Suspense, which when it got to issue 100 became Captain America series. All right, sorry, I had to get that. I was stuck in there.
I got you.
No, I have not seen it. Of course, I love their Earth Day stuff. They had the boxes. Is there a box on this one? That to me, their boxes are on Earth Day are some of the best.
I am a huge fan of the Earth Day stuff. You already know that. The
Yeah,
box
I love the
is the
boxes.
best when it comes to these. Now, this is 12.92. This is from the animation series I Care Bear. Every
Yeah,
year, Christina said that she loved the heart on it. I look, Christina, I agree with you so much more than you know. There's something about the like cutesy stuff that sometimes I rather get into, even though I guess I don't look like I should get into it. I do get into the cutesy stuff a little bit. This is one of them. I actually have the last Care Bears right here somewhere that they did. I get behind the Pops for purposes, the Earth Day, the anytime it's got a purpose behind it. To me, I'm a little bit more driven to get my hands on it. I have already seen this one at Walmart, by the
but
way.
I definitely like the colors because, of course, gives the impression of the Earth, the green, the red, the blues,
Well, I
stuff
don't
like
even
that.
know that
So
I Care Bear's a real bear
I don't
because
think so either.
well,
But
because actually on it you see the heart and the other that circle is the earth. So when you're a little closer and you can see it like on
oh
my
yeah, I
screen,
can see
it's
that.
like a
Yeah.
smiling earth. So I don't even like believe that this is a real Care Bear. I think that this one's 100% like
Now,
made
is this
up.
the only Earth Day pop they released?
It's the only one that they're showing right now. So in the reason I believe that is this one has honestly already hit the Walmart shelves. I
Okay,
think it hit the shelves prematurely. I honestly think that it was on the shelves before
because
Funko put
Earth
it on their
Day is
site.
not till later this month.
Yeah, it's the 24th or the 29th of this month. So Earth Day
Twenty
is
second. 22nd.
22nd. I knew that it was a little ways out. So Earth Day is the 22nd. So it they normally don't really start announcing them until it gets closer to that. And super weird on what happened this year, but that's
I definitely like the colors though.
I think that's the year of Funko that we're in, though. Everybody needs to hit that like button for me real quick, though. I've just been kind of like watching the chat over here to make sure that like
Yeah, and I do agree with you, Zach. I was just thinking the same exact thing. There was a Care Bear last year for Earth Day.
yes, I have it.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. There's another one. I have it, but I don't think it was. I think that the one they had last year was a real bear. I don't think this one this year is a real bear at all. I
yeah,
don't see it, but that's nothing. My shelves have gotten so compact at this moment that I got to buy some more shelves so that I can get them like opened up a little bit more because I have like I have going on what I said I would never have going on, which is pops in front of pops. So I it's hard for me to like scan through there and tell you that they're there or not. But I don't think this one's a real Care Bear. I could be completely wrong, but I think that they made this Care Bear up just for Earth Day. Super awesome. I'm excited for this one. I'm going to kind of like scroll through their site for a minute because I
now
see
have you noticed recently that there's been some pops that have been popping back up lately that I haven't seen in a while, to be honest with you. Like
like what?
the Black Light Godzilla has popped back up on the site.
I have some beliefs about some
Have we also noticed that the Venom mystery box popped back up on the site?
all right. So the Venom mystery box I knew was gonna pop back on there. So let's pull this down for a second. So let's talk about this because I actually had this at the end of the show just in case we didn't have anything to talk about. I kind of threw it in at the very end of the show because this is something that kind of like I had a light bulb go off the other day that I don't know if a lot of people had this light bulb go off. Hey, do we know dumpster divers? Does anybody in the chat know dumpster divers?
Myself, no.
Yeah, have you've never known somebody that was a dumpster diver who would I used to know this kid that would go to PetSmart and he would dumpster dive at PetSmart like once a month and he would get all of his dog food from PetSmart because PetSmart throws away their expired dog food. Believe this shit or not, they throw it all away. The kid would go and get it by the bags. And that's how he fed his dogs. He had like 4 or 5 massive golden retrievers. We were in our 20s. You know how it is when you're in your 20s.
Yeah, you
That's
do what you got to do.
that's what he did. That's what he did to feed his dogs. I'm reading just the other day about Funko's dump again. And some of the stuff that I'm kind of gathering through their dump is that there's people out there that are gathering these pops out of the dumpster. And some of these pops are gonna hurt some feelings. I mean, some of these pops, like I I I I am trying not to say any names. So I have a message from an individual who says some of the pops that were at the dumpster possibly could have been NFT pops.
I'm not
I mean,
doubting it.
so
Not
I
putting it past them either.
I'm starting to believe that there's a lot of old pops out there that have just been kind of I have almost like a trophy sitting in the warehouse. Like, let's say that I'm collecting my own stuff in my own warehouse, but then I have to throw it away. Right? I mean, I'm starting to believe that there's going to be a lot of older stuff that's going to start popping up here real soon that people are going to be like, well, there's no way that's popping back up.
Yeah.
And I think that it is. I think that it is, and we already knew that the Venom was coming back, right? We knew that that didn't really sell out. We knew that they just kind of like, oh, it sold out. What's that called? What's that scam called?
Well, now you're basically just buying that. Since everyone knows what the other two pops are, everyone's just buying a
The
$30
Venom.
Venom pop.
Yes, that's really all you were doing from the beginning, though. That's from the beginning.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah, from the beginning, that's really all you were doing from the beginning, and they kind of got us on that. But it's whatever that they got us on it. It's whatever. But food for thought. on the whole dumpster, what do you think? Do you think it's possible that there's going to be some really high dollar pops that come out of the dumpster?
No.
I I speculate that there is. I I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of flippers out there for a long time that have just made their career on selling the pops out of the dumpster,
Well,
unfortunately
I
enough.
don't doubt that. I mean, obviously there was people there that took pictures of them at the dumpster, so or at the dump.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, there's definitely that. I mean, what else are they there to be doing? I guarantee they grabbed a whole bunch of them because guess what? They're in the trash. They're for anybody to take. So,
Right.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, then more power to you.
So I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of pops coming back through the community. That and even now that we're out of 2020 and we're into 2023, I think we're also going to continue to see a lot of stuff trickleate back out in the community because I'm starting to think now that this is nothing new for Funko to sell out and then later be like, "Oh, check this out. We found these in the back of our warehouse.
Yeah.
Let's start to push those back
Is
out
that
here."
light and sound Darth Vader?
I had to pull this up for Chase though, because I know Chase is in the room and Chase has to have everything Vader. Chase, they have your 10-inch Vader for $50, lights and sounds, all of that cool stuff. It is on their site at this moment. You can go grab him whenever you want. I had to throw him on there just for that. But I want to roll through their page for a minute because I want y'all to check out the amount of exclusives that they have on their page that aren't
There's a lot.
actually their exclusive.
Oh yeah. Well, we know they've done that for a long time. They sell other people's exclusives all the time.
Right, so it's pretty easy to tell.
I
So
do
when
want that Wanda though. That Wanda is pretty hot.
right, that Wanda is pretty hot. Entertainment Earth exclusive comes with the
Although,
inter
okay, yeah, it was okay. For
and
some reason, I thought it had something different on the top of the box, but yeah, that is correct.
it's coming with the Entertainment Earth exclusive bot sticker. So this is the other part that I was wanting to point out because I was scrolling this today and I realized that the exclusives on their site are no longer with that special goofy sticker.
Oh, good point. Good point.
I know you know what goofy sticker I'm talking
Yeah,
about. It's some special sticker. They don't
yeah.
have the special sticker. They actually have like this one has the GameStop exclusive sticker
The
on
weird
it.
ass GameStop sticker.
Yeah, they've all kind of got that. I This one is going to have the Walmart exclusive sticker on there. These things for some reason I'm never going to understand why they're so popular,
Oh,
but
classic
they are.
80s, the classic 80s Killer Clowns from Outer Space. One of the strangest friggin' movies I've ever seen in my life, but has a huge, huge cult following.
Absolutely, 100%, Christina. I will get with you just a second. The show's over with, and we will talk about the new home for my last blue guy. Truly appreciate you, man. These things have been a blast. Did you say that this is a
So
bad '80s film? Is that what you said to me? It's
it's, I mean, it. Have you ever watched this film?
I have not. I have
I
never
I
watched the Killer Clowns.
I've actually watched this film, and it is. I mean, you remember B roll, B cut type films that never really made it to theaters, and you kind of back in the day you used to find them in the back of the Suncoast Video and shit like that, and they're just weird. That's basically what Killer Clowns
Do you mean like
is like.
Blockbuster? Do you remember Blockbuster?
I remember Blockbuster, but I'm talking. You go even just as the same age as Suncoast Video in the mall, and they always had like in the back, not the most popular
Was
stuff.
was that where
They
they kept the nudie stuff too, or
no Suncoast don't sell movie stuff. Trust me, as a teenager, you got to find that somewhere else. But because we didn't have the internet back then, we didn't have the
That's right.
never mind. We'll move on from that
We're
one.
not moving on. It's all the way in the back of the store.
But it's in the back. It's kind of like I don't know. I guess B rated movies, B cut rated movies, stuff like that. It was just weird. I did see it, and I probably kind of checked my mental health to see why I watched it. But Yeah, I'm a big fan of old school '80s pop culture. This is not one of them.
So I've never seen this movie, but it has a cult like
Oh,
following. So one day I have to like one day I'm gonna have to decide that I'm watching this movie because it has a serious cult like following. I've never seen anything like it.
apparently Chase didn't like my comment, but it was weird. The movie
I
was weird. It is.
I would imagine that it's probably a lot like every '80s film. The graphics weren't look. Let's be honest, their theatrics weren't that great. The acting wasn't that good. The FX were
It was probably. I mean,
very
and mind you,
lackluster.
this is one of my favorite like '80s style horror movies, and it was. I mean, it verged on the level of comedy at the same time, but it was right on there on that weird level of Evil Dead. You had that. The original Evil Dead. I mean, those
Oh,
villains
those things are great.
look like plastic masks
What?
almost over their faces,
No,
but
it didn't.
oh,
How
the
dare
original one
you?
does, yes. But I loved it. I don't care. You could go off. I still am a huge fan of Evil Dead.
Okay.
Uh,
You just
you can run away. I don't care. I'm still a huge fan of Evil Dead, but the original one was very cheesy, and that's why they redid the Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell many years later when they had more money.
All right. So Lou says that you have to watch it with a few drinks, Lou.
Yes.
I I if I have a few drinks, I'm gonna be drunk because I don't drink, but I'll try it with maybe a half a drink. He's have it with a few drinks. Watch it with some friends, pretend that you're friends and make it a I'll
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna give it a shot because this thing has it not only did they just do this one, right? So they this is the God, don't like scalp me, guys. This is their 25th or their 30th anniversary
Yeah.
of the
It's
Killer Clowns, and GameStop is also releasing the Killer Clowns 4-pack. I want to say that it's a mystery box, but we all know what's in the box, so that doesn't like make it a mystery box to me if we know what's in it. So they have the 4 Killer Clowns in it. They have the 4 pins. I think the pins are, man, I wish that I could make a pin like they made those. And then it has a keychain, all of the black light stuff, and that's why I think it's not gonna do that good, is because it's in the black light. And also GameStop is has kind of started to fall off. I don't really know why GameStop is starting to kind of fall off, but they are, especially like I think a lot of it has to do with people don't buy digital
people don't
bit
buy
people,
actual hard games anymore.
right. People don't buy hard games anymore. They buy digital copies. So I think that's making like GameStop a little bit harder to convince me to go there when they're not necessarily on the way to
Game
anything
I
that I'm
I've
going
I've
to.
thought this for a while, especially since video games started being where I can just download the game from the internet and bring it in. It is a dying type of store. It's just like the record store. It's just like the actual bookstores. It's a dying brand, to be honest with you. But yeah, I do agree with Luau, and Chase said it as well. It's one of those movies that was so bad it was good. But I agree. It is also like Toxic Avenger, who does have a huge following as well. But I think I like the Toxic Avenger movie better than I did.
I
Um,
mean, just cult like
Direct.
following. I have to watch it one day because I really enjoy Ash versus Evil Dead, but that's because of the over the top, just the over top like gore to me is just hysterical.
But that's like them redoing or doing another version of Evil Dead recently. I'm sorry, but the only reason Evil Dead was so good was because of Bruce Campbell.
Yes, 100%. You gotta have Bruce Campbell in it in order for it to be any good. It's that's what made it most of
Yeah,
the time, him and his boomstick. I Is this the Godzilla that you're
yeah,
talking
that's
about?
that Black Light Godzilla.
So this is the Entertainment Earth Godzilla that just recently came out probably about a month ago, maybe a month and maybe
Was
2
it
months
was it
ago.
that far? I
It
thought it
hasn't
was
it
before
hasn't been that long back. This is actually a really delayed release, I think, when it came to that. This is the one that they also released with the Moth. I have not
that. Oh,
yet
Mothra,
gotten
that's right.
Yes, I have not yet gotten the Mothra yet. I did get this one. Um, it's really cool. I think the Neon City ones. Do you remember the Neon City
Yeah, remember
10-inch?
the
I
neons.
think
Then
those were the best ones.
King
Those were the
King
best.
Kong, King Kong and Godzilla,
Yeah,
those are
those
cool.
Those were the best ones. After that, it's just they're kind of like Darth Vader after that. If you got one, you got all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, it just becomes a Darth Vader situation. If I got one of these guys, I got every one of these guys. I know Chase doesn't want to hear that, but that's just the facts to life, Chase. If I got one of them, I got all of them. For some reason, my internet's just trying to work
If
super
if if,
slow.
if you got one Darth Vader, you got all of them.
Got all of them. For some reason, my internet is like dragging.
If
I
you
don't know.
got one Batman, well, you're just sad that you got Batman.
You're just sad that you got Batman. That was wrong. He said if you got one of them,
Well,
you
what's funny is I actually go because as much as I get crap about Batman on here, I've got a guy I work with that is a huge Batman fan. He came in the other day with work because he always comes in before he goes and changes, and he had a big old Batman shirt on. We got into a big old comic book thing, basically pointing out because I'm like, to me, Batman's the most overrated character in comics. He is, and and then I was like, well, he's not a superhero. He's like, well, he's a superhero. I'm like, no, he's not a superhero. He's a vigilante, not a
vigilante.
superhero.
Yeah, no, he's not a superhero.
So
Any
that's my
breaking
Batman rant for today.
any Breaking Bad like collectors here?
Uh,
Anybody into the YouTubes? I
YouTube.
hope I probably said that wrong. YouTubes. So this is one of them that Tristan started. Tristan kind of got behind this very early on. The YouTubes,
These seem like Dorbs.
they were just like YouTube characters, so it'd be like YouTube personalities and people on YouTube. This company came along and then started making these like figures of them. They even have one of Tristan out there.
Oh, I
They
think I remember these. Yeah.
He kind of got behind the brand pretty early on, and then like in the last 6 months kind of dropped them when Funko started going through major changes. It is also about the same time he started doing a lot of shows with Funko. The Breaking Bad collection just hit Entertainment Earth. I don't know if anybody's into the Breaking Bad stuff or if you're into the YouTubes. I thought this was pretty interesting, so I wanted to show everyone this one. They're pretty cool. I mean, if you ask me, they're pretty cool. Now they've got a few of them from the Breaking Bad collection. I have no clue who these people are, so don't expect me to try and help you with who they are. But if you're into it, you probably know. Whatever this dude is. I don't know who Mike is or what Mike's doing with that
And
silencer.
Chase, real quick, I do agree with you. Yes, Punisher was a vigilante. Ghost Rider, however, was not he was a vigilante, but he was more of an anti-hero because he did have superpowers.
Say what?
Ghost Rider, I would be classified as a superhero because he did have superpowers when he went from Johnny Blaze to Ghost Rider. So, but he was more of an anti-hero. He kind of skated the line like a Namor did, where he had superpowers, but he didn't want to be the hero. He also wanted to do right at the same time, but he didn't want to be a hero. So I guess I class him more of an anti-hero.
So it looks like Funko has just released 1,000 bags or so. At least 1,000 bags at this moment.
Well, I'm wondering if Entertainment Earth is actually benefiting from the fact that Pop in the Box stopped doing pops and basically put themselves out of business by making the move. I don't even know does Pop in the Box even exist anymore?
I don't know. Did you see the latest news with Big Apple Collectibles where they're giving everybody $1 refund, and people are getting super upset because they're giving them $1 refund for their $200 orders. They're basically giving you $1 a pop. So if whatever if you ordered 10 pops, they're giving you $10 back versus your full refund. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's one of those situations where I'm like, if you accept that dollar, then they're not liable for anything else. If you don't accept that dollar, you're probably not going to get anything. I mean, so I don't really know. That's one of those situations where I don't know the right answer because I don't have a law degree, but I do know that the moment that you accept that dollar, then you can't go after them for any other compensations because you accepted that dollar as a refund. I do know that. That's all I know. I seen this one and
Did
also
this
thought
originally come out at $75?
this thing came out at $75. $75. $75. Does that seem excessive to anybody else other than me?
Yeah, that seems excessive. And I did pull up. Pop in the box is not although they have one set of pops that they are selling. You're actually gonna find this funny. They have one set of pops that they're selling. They're selling a 7-pack, a 7-pack of pops for $16.
Oh,
Actually, I should do a
what?
7-pack of pops for
How many fingers was
$16.
that?
Huh?
How many fingers was that?
Not enough originally.
Let me see the 7 again.
Seven of the Marvel Eternals.
Marvel, that sounds about right. I mean, everybody wants those.
I think they got those out of the dumpster
That was
and
probably a
started
dumpster
selling
find.
them.
That was most likely a dumpster find. That was
That is funny.
probably a dumpster find. I mean, that was probably it. But I wanted to throw this up there too. I thought that you were into this one. 3. This
Yeah,
price is expensive.
I am a big fan of Blink-182. Always have been since I was a kid, especially this album. Huge fan. But I was listening to them before that. But I'm not spending $75 on an album.
I
I'm
mean, I might
sorry.
have to break this one down into 4 payments.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I mean,
And the
this
fact
is
that they say it's low stock, it's like, man, that people are coughing up the $75.
well, you know how Funko used to be
Yeah,
notorious for that. Funko used to be notorious for everything was low stock after it was on the site for 4 minutes, and then it just kinda stayed that way. After it hit it for 4 minutes, it just kinda stayed in low stock, like, for the rest of the life until it was no longer there.
yeah.
It just stayed low stock. I had to bring that one up, though, because I was sitting there on the Entertainment Earth, and I was like, "Man, I forgot to bring this up and show you." I know that you're gonna run out and get it. I figured that this is one of them that you're right on top of. For some reason, their site's moving really slow today. It's moving really slow, but if you're after
They
something
do
like the
have that
Gloomy Bear,
faceted R2D2, which is really cool.
yeah, I guess I'd have to see that one in person. If you're after like the Gloomy Bear that was a Tokyo exclusive, you can get it right here. There's some really cool exclusives that you can get like off of their site if you just want to like scroll through it and see if maybe you missed something from like Amazon or one of those places because there's a lot of Amazon exclusives on here,
I
even some
might
Target
actually
Con.
have to get that wooden Pinocchio.
Yeah, even some Target Con stuff, some Hot Topic. That's still sitting at my local Hot Topic. So is this one right here, which is the Peter Pan in Shadow,
In the
which
shadow, yeah.
I thought was pretty cool, but there must not have been that much for it, or they way overproduced as they
They got
said
the
they did.
Blacklight Elvira back up.
This one's really cool. The Blacklight Elvira's back up there, Entertainment Earth exclusive as well. So there's some really cool like pops if you want to like just get on there and scroll and see what you can find. There's some cool stuff on there. Check this out though. I know that this is one of them that you're going to be after. I seen this and about fell over today. This is something that I think is something that I could never get into. That I'm never going to be running out to buy these, but they're still cool if I can find it. Here we are, right there. That's the right one. So check these guys out right here. This is a company that is making, I want to say that they're pillows. I think they call them plush is what they're calling these guys. They're coming out with the Chucky and the My Little Kitty line. These things are called Palos. Palos by Surreal Entertainment.
You know what they
They
remind me of? They remind me of that what were those back in the 90s? Those wrestling
Yes.
pillow pal
Yes, that
things.
is what they remind you of 100%. So
100% remind me of those wrestling pillow pals,
I
whatever they were
think
called.
the art on them is pretty cool. They've already come out with like Michael Myers, Chucky, Bob Ross. They have some My Little Kitty stuff out. You can see we got the Michael Myers, the Bob Ross. I think is pretty cool, to be honest. Um, they're going to be coming out with Dragon Ball Z, My Hello Kitty, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They have a lot of these that are going to be coming out, and these things are actually starting to catch traction. I I'm not going to be running out and buying them anytime soon.
I mean, how much different are they from this?
That's what they are.
I mean, come
Oh,
on. If you're a '90s kid, you all know you had one of these.
I didn't
I had
have
I
one.
had an Ultimate Warrior. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah,
Have
yeah. I mean, come
have
on.
you checked to see how much Ultimate Warrior would sell for if you had him today?
No, but I'm probably sure quite a bit,
You
especially
should
after his
check
death.
and see what would Ultimate Warrior sell for today had you have held on to your wrestling buddies. Was it your buddies or your buddy?
Buddies.
Did you like drop the elbow on him from time to time?
Oh hell yeah, hell
You
yeah!
like
Saturday morning wrestling was on. Saturday, we watched wrestling and then you went out and played. But yeah, you always had your wrestling buddy right there. Come on, man.
did you look him up to see how much he sold for?
No, I did. This site doesn't say it, but they have all these ones. And I just think it's funny that they have them. I do remember every single one of these, especially the Hulk Hogan.
I can't find them right offhand. I wish that I could. Um, Wrestling buddies. Oh man, some of these things are whoa.
Well, especially this pack. I'm gonna go back to this, especially this packaging, because this packaging you could tell it was the '90s because of the WWF logo on here.
Hey,
It was the WWF, of course. Now it's the WWE because they got sued by the with the Wildlife
which one of
Federation.
those did you say you had again?
I had the Ultimate Warrior.
You had the Ultimate Warrior. Oh man.
How much was he selling for on eBay? That's not even a filled one for 1,700. Jesus Christ. Man, I don't know what the hell happened to that damn
You
thing.
might want to get a hold of your mom and be like, "Hey, mom, you
Where's my
remember that?
wrestling buddy?
You remember that wrestling buddy I dropped a few elbows on? I'm gonna need him. He's gonna make a car payment."
Yep, yep.
Man, I had to check. I had to check.
Especially since that doesn't you can tell it doesn't even have the stuffing or anything. It's just yeah, wow.
So some of these are not so crazy. Some of these are like $100, $75,
You're gonna have to
$13.
go after the old school big ones
Hulk
like the
Hogan's $150. I mean, you hit like the grail, and just for
well,
some reason
I
didn't.
think that and maybe like Big Boss Man or Legion of Doom probably, but I guarantee you Ultimate Warrior probably would have been one of the most collected.
Somehow you hit the grail and didn't keep him. I don't even understand what you were doing.
I had it. I did. I had it right. I had it when I was a kid in the
So
'90s.
you should have been putting him on top of the shelf in your closet in a
Should
Ziploc,
have.
probably in a trash bag, tie it shut, keep all the air off of him so that you could then later sell the Ultimate Warrior
You
for
don't
a
think about
god.
that when you're a kid, though. You
No,
just like, I
no,
got me a wrestling buddy, man. That's
no.
cool.
Man, I had the old Fall Guy truck with the old 18 van with the die-cast ones,
Yeah.
the General Lee. I mean, I had the old
Well, that was back
die-cast.
when they made toys out of metal, not
Yeah, that was
plastic.
that was the old metal cars.
Dude,
So,
I
look,
remember
I
having
understand.
Tonka, construction items like a dump truck that was metal. Nowadays they're all plastic.
Chase says those things look like cost babies in the face. They 100% do look like cost babies in the face. And cost babies actually have a really cool line that they just recently came out with. I don't necessarily think we have time for that today, but we do have this beer that I want to Brew Dogs has a partnership where they have partnered up with Warner Brothers, and they've come out with some really cool, like, of unique beers, I guess is a way of putting it. They have found that there's licensings and things that maybe there is a market for that most people didn't see. Like, this one is going to be the Brew Dogs Bushwood beer Caddyshack. So I don't know if you remember the Gopher, the
Oh,
great.
of course, the Gopher good with Bill Murray and
Yes,
the Caddyshack Gopher. Oh
yes.
yeah, that's
so
classic.
so this is going. Brew Dogs has made the Caddyshack Gopher beer. It's 5% alcohol. It's not very strong. I think that's really weak when it comes to the form of an alcoholic beverage, but you can get your hands on this one. It is a Warner Brothers licensed agreement. There's going to be more of these coming out in the future. I'm excited to see what they come out with. I would really like to see them get with Fox and maybe come out with a Duff beer from The Simpsons because, Homer's always drinking Duff. Always,
Well,
always, always drinking Duff.
okay, mind you, it may be going away soon, but and you go out here to Universal Studios in Orlando, and of course they have a Simpsons, street basically where they have Moe's Bar and they have the Krusty Krab.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
didn't know
not
that.
the Krusty Krab. The that's fucking SpongeBob. But they have a lot of these different stuff, and you can go into Moe's Bar, and you can even get the Flaming Moe that was from one of the shows with the cough syrup. Um, but of course, it's not cough syrup. But anyways, you can get that. I think you can get a Duff beer
What?
in a Duff can. Yes, I'm pretty sure you can.
All right. So at some point, somebody is going to have to send me a picture. Where did you say this is at?
This is in Universal Studios out here in Orlando.
No,
Now,
it's not.
with that, you're gonna have to do it sooner than later. And I'm trying to, I'm thinking about getting annual passes Universal sometime this year. But um, the licensing agreement for Simpsons with Universal is actually up, I think, in the next year or two. And since now that Disney owns the Simpsons,
What?
Universal is talking about not renewing the contract or the licensing contract. So that entire Simpsons land and Simpsons ride may be going away completely.
That damn Disney has everything. Everything. Disney has gathered up everything.
But they got that in the Fox buyout or whatever it was.
So somebody's gonna have to still send me a picture of that because I have to see this at some point. I can only imagine that it looks really cool. I want to go see that now. I'm super jealous that y'all live close to that, and I am so far away. But I thought that that was cool nonetheless. I thought that there was a lot of people that would get some enjoyment out of the Caddyshack beer. If I see a can somewhere, I guarantee you that I'm going to have to buy it just to sit it on my wall somewhere or on my shelf, and then laugh about having the BrewDog Caddyshack beer. I think that's really cool. Really cool. You messed up, my friend. Does it feel like you messed up when you're looking at it? Are you like, man, I messed up with that one?
Yeah, I definitely that's for 100% sure. I did screw that up because now it's like, damn, that could have been hell. And I who knows? I have no idea what the hell ever happened to that thing. I don't remember.
Oh man, you're never gonna figure it out. I mean, you could ask your mom and be like, "Hey, mom, do you know where that's at?" And maybe she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I put that right here," but I doubt it. I mean,
Uh,
I doubt it. Now, this is the one that I actually thought that I was bringing up a minute ago, and that is the 18-inch Vader. So Funko is going to be releasing the 18-inch Vader. I've got to go back there and look at that a little closer. It's going to be the I don't know what that means by 46 because I can't really read what that says under it. So it's 46 centimeters is what I think that says, or something stupid to that effect. Looks like they went in inches and in whatever. But anyways, this is going to be the if you have one Vader, you have them all. This is probably the only Darth Vader that I would be putting in my collection anytime soon. If I was going to do one at this moment, it would be the 18-inch. But the other side to that is I'm going to be completely honest. These 18-inch pops take up a god awful amount of space. And I mean a god awful amount of space. I don't even honestly know how you could display these with not using an entire shelf just for it. I mean, maybe if you had like four shelves for the 3-foot shelves and that's all you put on them was the 18 inches about the only way I could think that you could get away with it. I'm willing to bet that these are bigger than some of your sideshow pieces
Probably.
because they're just massive. They're just one massive piece of plastic. I knew Chase was gonna like this one. I knew Chase was gonna be 100% behind this one. He was gonna be like, "Oh yes, I have to have the 18-inch Darth Vader."
Here, I got something for you real
What do you
fast.
got? What do you got?
Check this out.
The Duff beer. That's not a real thing. What is that?
Hey, you get it in bottles.
No, you
Duff beer,
can't.
Duff light, and Duff dry.
Duff, say that again.
You get Duff Beer, Duff Light, and Duff Dry.
I'm dead. Why have I never known this my whole life? Just today.
Yep.
Just today years old.
You can even get a Duff Beer energy drink.
What? I need a Duff Beer energy drink.
And you can get all these at the Duff Beer Brewery at Universal
What?
Studios.
No. All right. So that's really cool. That's really cool. I can't imagine that they would let that license go though if they had that much money
Well, they
into
don't want to pay. Yeah, they're already paying Disney a buttload of money every year to basically also try to screw over Disney with the Marvel contract. You know the Marvel contract, right? I think I
right.
said it on the show
Yeah,
before.
so Disney doesn't have Marvel characters because it's at Universal, right?
Because there's a contract that when they were creating Islands of Adventure, Universal created a contract with Marvel. Of course, this was before Disney owned Marvel to have exclusive rights to particular characters, and they basically did a fu to Disney at the time because I think Disney was trying to do superheroes as well, and they said that none of these characters can be sold within within 50 miles of Universal Studios Orlando. Exactly within 50 miles.
I mean, you got to give them credit. I mean, got to give them credit where credit is due.
So, but
So
and on top of it, that contract doesn't have an end date. The only way that contract can end is if Universal decides to end it.
well, I mean, the other flip side is it, but they're paying for it, right?
Oh yeah, they're paying Disney a lot of money for it. That's for sure. But like I said, there wasn't that type of contract with the Simpsons, and I think Universal just doesn't want to do that. Now, at the same time, Universal has to replace a ride that they just recently shut down, which was the Fast and the Furious ride, which, from what I heard, was absolutely freaking horrible.
Oh, probably. I think that there's been a lot of that happens at every park. I don't see the Venom mystery box up. I figured while we had a few more minutes, it is sold back out. So the Venom mystery box
Yeah,
is
it's
is
sold back out again. It did come
is
back up, but it's sold again.
so that was pretty common at Funko back in 2019, 2020, and maybe even 2021, is that they would sell out, but then you would see them come back on as a second wave, as a third wave. That was pretty common, like all the time, but not coming back on and not going back away. Right. I mean, that's something
Oh,
that just kind of started happening. You have your collector's core box, don't
I
you?
do,
Here,
but
let
I
me pull
actually
this down.
I got a special box just slid into my door. I don't know if you guys saw that door open back there at all, but I actually just had a box slid into my door, and guess what is on it?
Oh, man, that is an awesome box. Alright.
So therefore, I've got two boxes to open up, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off on that one real quick because I don't know about you, but I know I sent this to, and I know this is still available, and I don't care. But I sent it to you, and I sent this picture to Chase as well because this is every '80s kid. I'm sorry, but I was loving my '80s childhood when I got this pop in. This thing is awesome, by the way. I wish I had the glittery one, but I wasn't gonna buy the bag. But I know Chase has this, and I don't know if he's opened it up yet. I've had this for I don't know about a week now. You don't do the collector core, do you?
I don't. No, I never really got into the mystery boxes. I've never been a big fan of it because even like right now, I'm having to do things that I consider maybe are a flipper. Like so I'm buying pops and then almost immediately selling them
Yeah,
because I've run out of room. I mean,
yeah,
I've simply run out of room to store things and I can't keep piling pops on top of pops. It doesn't work for me.
yeah.
And I've already gotten to that point, so I've
But this is probably my old doing mystery boxes is probably the one that I've probably kept going because it's Marvel, and I'd say more than not they have pretty good boxes. They have some off
everyone
boxes.
that I've seen you pull, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 in the past
Yeah,
years, they're all good.
they have some questionable ones, and like I said, I think the Wakanda one wasn't that great, and I think they could have done better with that. To be honest with you, The Lucha Libre one wasn't very good. Didn't really care for that one. This is a shirt we got. Actually, just kind of like the two colors, but
That's
of
pretty cool.
course, the Ant-Man Quantumania, and then we've
Those
got
are Funko shirts, right?
yeah.
All of those are Funko shirts, right?
And then the sticker is actually kind of cool. It's not the normal, but it's the Pim
That
Van
is
Dyne
different. Yes.
Foundation. This is next month, and then the pin. Oh, actually, the pin is actually cool. Can you tell
That is
me?
pretty cool.
Can you tell me who that is?
That's that little creepy guy. I can't remember who it is,
Little
but y'all
brainy
told me.
guy, yeah.
Yes, y'all told me. I can't remember, but it's a little weird guy. It's the little weird guy.
So here's the first one.
What do they
Mind
got?
you, actually, I actually was excited for this box. I don't have any Ant-Man pops.
Oh, I
So
think I do.
here's the first one.
So that's a cool one. I think
So
unhelmeted.
I don't know, just has it's like running without the helmet. Again, I would have liked the helmet be on there. I think that would have been cooler. And then I'm assuming maybe, or are we gonna guess the Wasp is the other one?
I think the Wasp is what you're getting.
Oh no, actually, this one is cool. This is Cassie Lang, of course, his daughter.
That's really cool.
So that one to me, and that's why I like the collector core boxes, because they get some off-site, off type of pops, like kind of like the Supreme Strange statue that I still have up here. That one was pretty awesome. But Cassie Lang, this is definitely one that's going. And I like the fact that they had the helmet on her. I wish they would have put the helmet on this one. But anyways,
in that box,
cool
listen to me, is my very first prototype. This is the very first print that I got to not fail. This is going to come packaged in the way that you're going to get this blue guy. So he's going to come packaged in the way you're getting him. He's also going to come with a letter of authenticity that only can be authenticin by me. By me. This is a really cool one. Now, the guy that you're about to pull out is actually a little smaller than him, but I was trying to find the right size. I only made 4 of these because this is not the right size. This was a super hard mold in this size, and I had to go bigger because I failed 3 out of the 4 times that I tried to make one blue guy. Just a heads up, if anybody's wondering how much of a struggle it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. So 3 out of the 4 failed every time I tried to make one of these guys. And I eventually got the size right on the next one. That's why you will only ever see 4 of the blue guys.
Now, I will give one more quick thing. If you are interested in the Marvel Collector Cores, the one in 2 months is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Of course, that's exclusive to Amazon. But I wanted to comment. I'm not quite sure what Simon was saying. It says F names. I don't remember anything. Anyways, what were we talking about?
I think we were talking about like some of the Ant-Man stuff. I don't ever remember names ever. I struggle with it. People get offended, and I'm like, please don't, because it's like that with everyone. It's not just you. It wasn't that you were unimportant to me. It's that I just don't remember names. I just simply do not remember them.
All right. So let's see. There wasn't anything under this paper, right? Because I just cut it in half.
No, there was nothing in there.
Nothing in there. It was like if there was, it just got cut in half.
No, nothing in there that you're gonna hurt.
Oh, this thing's pretty cool. See, all ready? Oh, the top came off a little bit.
So they're going to come in the paint can. If you'll roll it around, the paint can has a logo on there, so it's going to say that it's Project Blue on the front side. Project Blue on the front side. It's got WayneKo running down it. Now that is the one of 2. That is all of them that there will ever be. That is it. that is the only one.
I put it back on too much. All right. All right, let's take this bad boy out. This guy is cool. So there he is.
That is the very first one that I made. That is him. That is too
like
cool. So that green actually glows under a black light. And look, I have like that exact same head. It's been sitting behind me. No one ever notices it. that
There's
that
something in
that failed. Oh, I told you that was a prototype, right?
what is in there? Can you hear
Don't
it?
worry about what's in there. It made it. It made it.
Does he have a brain?
You know. So I actually have that head back behind me as I was trying to perfect it. That thing actually glows under the black light. It's been sitting back behind me for a long time. Something's in the head.
There's something rattling around in
Don't
the
worry
head.
about what's in the head.
He has a brain. He has a brain. But no, that's cool. That's cool as hell, man. I do appreciate it. He's gonna go. I don't know. My wife will probably set him
So
up
there
somehow
should be a
with a
letter in
container.
your box somewhere. Is there a letter in that box somewhere?
Yes. Project Blue. Oh, and there's $1, $50.
So every one of them will come with the $50. You will hold that half and I will hold the other half. And in the event that one day they ever do go up in value, I doubt it, but if they do and somebody wants to know if it's real, all they have to do is check with me for the other half of the dollar. I will keep them on file. I put my email address right up there above it. It's super cool. It was fun for me to make them. I can't wait to get them out to you guys, though. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
So I got to read something my wife just sent me. So of course she kind of slipped this into the door without trying to be seen. But she just texted me and said that box was not trying to come out of the mailbox. He would not freaking go into the key insert. I spent 5 minutes. I kid you not. It's definitely a full moon out tonight.
That's right. Definitely a full moon out tonight. Well, I'm
So
glad
that
you
is
like
cool
it.
as hell, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it is definitely staying in my collection somewhere.
So that is the very first one of those ever made. That is the first one that made it without failing.
Paint bucket, WayneKo.
He
Project
said it
Blue.
sounds like you leave the head alone.
Now you got me wondering.
There's nothing in the head.
There is. I can see it.
I'll tell you what that is here in a minute.
Now I need to know what the hell's in the head. I can see because I'm using my light, but there's definitely what in the.
I'll tell you here in just a minute. I'll tell you what's in there. Hey, you got anything going on next week you want to talk about?
Nothing really. 5 minutes of Disney, of course, coming back. I did get back this week. Some big news if you guys didn't see it. I'll tease it a little bit. Of course, if you guys are cruising fans, I know some of you guys are big on cruising. Disney did purchase a giant mega ship last year, and they are redoing it in Disney. However, do remember it is not going to come to the U.S. Watch the show and find out if you're ever interested to find out where its home port is eventually going to be because they just signed a 5-year deal to make a different location as home port. And that's, I think, because of the size. It's going to be one of the biggest ships in the world.
That is insane. What day did you say that's going to be dropping?
That one dropped last week, so you guys can see that.
I'm
Plus,
going to have to
if you're hungry, Narcoossee's just recently opened up. I talked about the new menu that released on that. So I put a lot of pictures and images of the food that they released. They have some old favorites and they released some new ones as well. So that's always good. As far as this week, I don't know. I've had some people ask me if I'm going to put a particular amount of certain Disney news in. And I think because there's been a lot going on with the stockholder meetings and comments basically between Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney, and the governor of Florida. So there's a lot going on, but there's so much about it in the news that I'm just going to let y'all figure out. And I get picky and choosy with what I put in the show, and sometimes I just don't like getting into that amount. I like to focus on the parks itself. And although I have put stuff in there before, but I'm picky and choosy with it, but definitely I'm gonna put some new stuff in there. Of course, Tron official opening of Tron was today, so they of course had the grand opening and the christening with that one. But again, I've been on it. I rate it as a 7. If you guys ever get a chance, I still recommend going on it. It's a fantastic ride, and going from there. And then of course the other big news this week, and it probably won't be in my show, but I will tell you guys if you guys are going to Disney anytime soon. And for the 50th anniversary, they had 2 good fireworks shows. Well, I'm not going to say good, but they had at Epcot, they had Harmonious with the barges, and they had Enchantment and Magic Kingdom. Both of those are officially done as of Sunday night. I think my kids liked Enchantment, so we watched the live stream on the TV. But at Epcot, their long term one is not officially named yet, but they're going to have Epcot Forever coming back temporarily until they get their new one announced. And then at Magic Kingdom, they brought back Happily Ever After, which I am very happy with because it was one of my favorite fireworks shows. And we will probably be going down to Disney within the next couple of weeks because I got to see it.
Gotta see it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Well, hey guys, normal stuff for me. Come check me out Friday. Gonna have my video that drops. Don't even know what it is. Lots of shorts in between. We truly appreciate y'all hanging out with us, guys, and we will see y'all next week.
Yep.
Really special guest next week, so don't forget to make sure you're coming and joining us. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Don't forget, have fun. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Have a good one, guys.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Sometimes the easiest things to do take the longest amount of time to get done. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but before we get out of here real quick, guys, don't forget to go check our channel memberships out. These are both very new features to Mr. Techbot and myself, but we're both very proud that we have made it to this point. So go check out our memberships. The link should be down in the description below. If it's not down in the description below, you should be able to go to any one of our videos and it'll be down in the description below. So make sure you go check that out. It's super cool, fun way to get interactive with the channel. You'll get some really cool icons, some really cool emojis you can drop over in that super chat. You can drop over there in that chat so that you can flex on everybody a little bit. And don't forget that any and all super chats will go down in the description after this video is over. Give us 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes to get it down in there. I mean, we might not be able to do it right away. You know, we've got to eat dinner and still hang out with our family, but we truly appreciate all of you guys, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good one.